This is Lawrence Standifer Stevens. This year, the Texas Radio Hall of Fame Board of Directors approved a special category of inductees, ones whose contributions were immeasurable and whose influence can still be heard today. Dick Siegel's love for radio came growing up in Cincinnati, listening to 50,000-watt WLW. Little did he know, a few decades later, his voice would be booming out of another broadcast giant, WBAP in Fort Worth, not only on the air, but in the air, flying and reporting from Jetcopter 820. His unique ability to report the traffic and be Funny Man's sidekick to Hall of Famer and 2015 Marconi nominee Hal J. has never been duplicated. In 1963, the world changed forever, and it happened in Dallas. Reporter Sam Pate's voice was the first to crackle over a two-way radio that something has happened in the motorcade. What nobody knew is that was the first indication of an assassination and the beginning of the end of innocence. President John F. Kennedy had been shot, and K-Box reporter Sam Pate broke the news to the world. In the late 70s, disco was dying, and FM radio was just coming to life. With it, the invasion of country stations who took advantage of urban cowboy and a more polished product to promote a new sound on a new side of the dial. Ted Norman was ahead of the trend and led the nation in a broadcasting breakthrough. As a companion to his country gold on 820 AM, the FM 96 frequency in Dallas-Fort Worth became Silver Country Stereo, and KSCS was born. It became one of the most imitated and innovative formats of the decade and sent a strong message that country was not only cool, but classy too. His was a big voice, and it blasted out of the biggest signals in Space City. His name was Mike Edmonds. While the standard today, decades ago, you'd be hard-pressed to find a man who had the goods to report and anchor sports and news, call play-by-play, manage a station, and program it too. Mike did it all, and more. Heard by millions for years as the play-by-play voice of the University of Houston Cougars, Mike was called on to launch and lead the first all-sports radio station in Houston and serve as their morning personality. Sports Radio 610 became a monster and changed the landscape of Houston radio forever. Today, his former frequency faces competition from 3 other signals vying for a piece of the all-sports pie, and his creation still beats them all. How many radio personalities have adorned a Wheaties box top? We can think of one, Anita Martini. Starting as a writer for the Colt 45s and the Houston Astros, she was the first woman to ever report from the locker room of a major league sport. And while that may have been her claim to fame, there was so much more. She was the first female co-host for a sports talk show in major market radio. Her talents took her to the national stage as the first female co-host of a nationally syndicated sports talk show. There were TV appearances, her own publication, and she even held the microphone that echoed the voice of Oilers coach Bum Phillips the day he made the promise to return to Pittsburgh to visit one unlucky door where he and his team planned to kick the son of a bitch in. Today, the sports landscape is filled with female anchors and reporters, some of them the highest paid in the industry. Not a single one could have achieved that feat without the tenacity and talent of Anita. He was a personality, a programmer, and a published author. But there was much more to Ed Shane's body of work. Consistency was the key to his success, and it seemed wherever he was, he consistently won. He wasn't just an expert in one programming genre. Ed programmed news stations like KTRH, adult-oriented stations like KODA, album rockers like KLOL, and Ed even managed to learn enough Spanish to advise the launch of Super Tejano 108 in Houston. Ed served as host of the provocative Girls Talk show on Gordon McClendon's Big 610 and made other contributions to the Kilt family of call letters when the 100.3 frequency went country. FM 100 set out to take down heritage country powerhouse KIKK, and they did. Along the way, Ed's consulting group, Shane Media Services, advised winning radio stations around the nation and inspired them with his winning ways. Signal's KAJA in San Antonio, KPLX in Dallas, and KHFI in Austin all became tops in their towns thanks to Ed Shane. Today, representatives of their families are here, along with colleagues, co-workers, friends, and fans of their craft. At this time, we'd like for them to stand up and be recognized for their love, support, and inspiration. The charter members of Newsmakers and Risktakers of the Texas Radio Hall of Fame.